So thanks once again for passing by the channel. If you like the content, if you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe, share the video if you felt it was useful, if you enjoyed it, if you felt you got something out of it, give it a share. Now let's get into this. So this weekend we have the card up in Sheffield. The Kell Brook is headlining against Mark DeLuca. Okay, now lots been made of that card. That's very, very weak, and I cannot for the life of me disagree with that. It is a weak card, and there's a video coming, well, technically tomorrow, because I'll be uploading this tomorrow. It's Monday night when I'm recording this. There'll be a video coming at some stage today about that card. But before I touch on that card, there's a particular fight around that card. It's not Kell Brook that I want to talk about at length, because I'm asking a question here about Dave Allen, the White Rhino, the Doncaster De La Hoya as they call him. 27 years old. I still can't get over how young he is. He's only a year and a bit older than me, and it seems like he's just been around forever. It looks like he's aged a lot as well over that time. I want to ask the question: is this his farewell fight, or is this an attempt to salvage a comeback? Okay, now when I look at Dave Allen, they haven't officially announced his opponent yet, at least not on BoxRec, but I've heard talk about it being Dorian Darch, and it's going to be a 6-rounder. So that just goes to show you, the last time Dave Allen fought on a matchroom bill and it was a 6-rounder was back in 2017 against David Howe. You know, he's been fighting 10 and 12 rounders ever since then. And Dave Allen, he's a fighter that when I just look at his BoxRec, I just go through it with a fine-tooth comb. The first time I ever saw him fight, he weighed 236 pounds. This was in 2016 against Jason Garvin. That was in Sheffield. One thing, he's fought on a couple of Kell Brook undercards, actually, has Dave Allen. He obviously had that fight with Dylan White. He lost that fight on points. Then he went and fought Luis Ortiz. Obviously, he was beaten pretty badly in that fight, cut tongue, and he didn't go down in that fight, but he was on the verge of getting stopped. You know, he really was. He was on the verge of getting stopped. Put together 2 wins, and then had that fight against Lenroy Thomas. That was on a Kell Brook undercard. Lost that on a split decision. Now, when I watched that fight, I actually remember that. Dave Allen, he didn't do a lot in that fight. You know, he really did turn into sparring partner mode. But I did kind of feel he was a bit hard done by, you know, not to get the decision in that fight. Obviously, he fought Tom Dallas, and this is really the issue that Dave Allen's been having throughout his career, which I'm going to touch on now. Which is 2 things really, but I'm going to touch on now in a sec. He got himself into tremendous shape, and then it was on a Sheffield show. I think that was another Kell Brook undercard. So always on these Kell Brook undercards. He had the rematch with Lenroy Thomas. Obviously there was a cut. It was accidental clash of heads, and that must have been painful for Dave Allen. You know, getting himself into such good shape, ready to go to 12 rounds. From what I remember of that fight, even in the first round, it looked like it was going to be a tough fight for Allen. But to not even get the chance to prove himself, you know, it's a tough pill to swallow. He was out 2 months later, and this is the thing that really is common with Dave Allen, and you worry about this. He put on damn near 30 pounds. No, nearly 40 pounds actually. Damn near 40 pounds in 2 months. I mean, to say this guy just went in a binge is an understatement. 40 pounds in 2 months, I didn't even think it's possible. Fought David Howe, and then less than 6 weeks later had that terrible beating against Tony Oka. I mean, that was painful. You know, he did barely any training. It was 260 pounds for that fight. Didn't do much to get ready for that fight. Took a hell of a beating, horrible beating in that fight. He really truly did. And then, you know, to make matters worse, he takes another fight on short notice against Nick Webb. And even though he won that fight, it was a fun fight, he still took a couple of punches before he ended up getting Nick Webb out of there. Then there was all this talk that he was going to start taking his career serious again, you know, this, that and the other. Goes in there with this Nebo guy, Samir Nebo. You know, does a job on him in a round, that was fine. Then he fought Ariel Bragamonte, and that was not pleasant viewing. And I've said this before about Dave Allen. He's a boxer. Boxers get hit. But when you actually watch Dave Allen get hit in the head, you actually start to worry. You know, you actually do. You think, oh, Jesus, another shot getting hit in the head with. He can't be taking too many of them. Had a war at Bragamonte. It was fun viewing, but he took a lot of punches in that fight. And it was really because neither guy was in particularly good shape. And it was the fact that Dave Allen was in that little bit better shape. And he wasn't in good shape. got him through that fight, because they're both gassed after 4 rounds. Fought Lucas Brown. That was a good win, but, well, it was a decent win. Lucas Brown's seen better days. He was never amazing to begin with. Stopped him in 3. Lost the first 2 rounds, though. Took a few shots in that fight. And then the one, David Price. In shape, Dave Allen. Focused. Was training with Adam Boot prior, and then decided to go back to his original trainer, work with Darren Barker. And David Price just showed all the flaws that have always been there in Dave Allen. Boxed the head off Dave Allen, beat the crap out of him over 10 rounds, stopped him. And now we have him back here on Saturday against probably Dorian Darch. Dorian Darch is not a particularly good journeyman at this stage anyway, but I don't want to see this guy back in a boxing ring. I don't know what his financial situation is, but you hear him in interviews, and when I used to hear Dave Allen interviews, I used to kind of think, he doesn't sound as bad as people make him out to be, but he definitely doesn't sound as good these days. And like I said, the guy isn't even 28 yet. He's not even 28 yet, and he's had a whale of abuse. He reminds me a bit of Jerry Quarry. He was a 70s heavyweight. Very game, Jerry Quarry. He cut very easy, very good chin, but he took a hell of a lot of beatings. You just don't want to see that with Dave Allen. He's bought 2 houses, he's made some decent money, and one thing that was worrying more than anything else was he was saying that he was offered the Daniel Dubois fight, the money wasn't there. I hope the money is never there, and I don't begrudge fighters paydays, but you don't want to see someone who's taken bad beatings over his career go in there against someone like a Daniel Dubois or someone like that. It just doesn't do. So I saw someone ask the question, I think it was on Sky Sports, is it his final fight or is it a comeback? I'm seriously hoping it's his final fight. He wants to go out with a win, in Sheffield, because he's fought there plenty of times, and just get the win and be gone. I'm hoping that's what Dave Allen wants, because like I said, he seems like a nice guy. I don't know what his financial situation is like, but he seems to have made, a decent amount of money from boxing anyway. He's a decent pundit, he knows about boxing. I think he could make a good career out of being a pundit or a journalist or an analyst. Hell, he could even probably do a commentary job. I'm sure Eddie Hearn, if Tony Bellew and Carl Froch can do it, I'm sure Dave Allen can do it. I just don't, because I look at the British scene. I'm going to go back here, I'm going to get my laptop back. I'm going to go on to the British scene. Move the cable there. Going to go on to the British scene here. So Dave Allen is ranked 9th in Britain. Okay, so he's ranked 9th in Britain. Literally 1 ahead of him is Daniel Dubois. Don't want to see that fight. 1 below him is Nathan Gorman. Again, don't want to see that fight. Then you got David Price. David Price ahead of Daniel Dubois. That's crazy. And so is Hughie Fury. That's actually crazy. I'd put Daniel Dubois ahead of both those guys. Joe Joyce, Derek Chisora. Oh boy, I don't think he beats any of them. I'm ignoring the top 4 or the top 3, because he's not going to fight either of them 3. Joshua, Fury and White. He already fought White anyway. It was years ago. Yeah. I really hope that this is the farewell fight for Dave Allen. Nothing against the guy personally. I think he's a nice guy. I think he's a cool guy, but you just don't want to see. You want to see a fighter leave with their health. And as Dave Allen's even said himself on numerous occasions, particularly the Tony Yoka fight, that took years off his career, and it just doesn't do. It doesn't do. So this card, in a nutshell, is not great, but Dave Allen is on it, probably against Dorian Darch. I seriously hope we don't. I hope this is a farewell fight, not because I don't like the guy, and not because I'm begrudging the guy anything, but just because I'm worried about the guy's safety more so than anything else. So those are my thoughts on this. Let me know again what you think down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. Let me know what you think. Subscribe, of course, if you are new. And as always, I will talk to you after.